सो गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीबडी, माई सेल्फ आचार्य विश्वेंद्र। आज एक बुक के बारे में आपसे डिस्कस करूंगा। दिस इज़ माइंड पैटर्न्स फॉर कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स। सो दिस इज़ द फ्रंट पेज ऑफ द बुक। हियर इज़ द फर्स्ट पेज. Here is the authorization page. I made it published with the help of Notion Press, which is a South-based edtech publishing company. Next is it's dedicated to the emotional conflicts which I felt during my preparation of JEE. So it comprises of 8 chapters. Here is the forward. So the thing is that normally students have underdeveloped mind-brain system. As an impact office, they have poor problem information processing skills. So there is a pattern to develop the mind-brain system, and this book is all about developing that mental pattern for making yourself adaptive to the competitive exams. So the central idea behind writing this book is, until and unless you have a strong mind-brain algorithm, a strong mind-brain system, you will not be able to crack the competitive exam. So the first thing is to prepare your mind-brain system for performance in competitive exam, which is the sole motto behind the book. Next is the preface. So in the preface, the thing is that the students who the toppers who are projected as newspapers or advertisement that he is the topper of JEE or NEET or any other competitive exam, in actual they start preparing when they are in class 5 or even less, so they start preparing well in advance, and they have 7 to 8 years or more years to prepare for that. So during those years there is a development of the mind-brain system. It becomes complex and stronger. So as an impact of that, they are very handy with the preparation and are able to crack the competitive exams. So these these things are hidden from a normal student. You just think that you just take admission in a given education system and you will crack the competitive exam. But the thing is, until and unless your mind-brain system is compatible, until and unless your mind-brain system is you can say that complex and strong, you will not be able to crack competitive exam. So that's the sole purpose behind the book. So that's the acknowledgement. I am highly thankful to the situations of life to make me learn or to make me work on the fundamental concept of how we learn or effective learning. Then is the prologue. So thing is that universe is guided by hidden rules. Just decode the rules and get what you deserve. So this is the central for this. Let's start with chapter number 1. So here are the competitive exams, like these exams are shown. And now these competitive exams are based on a certain pattern, and that pattern is the key to judge or to eliminate most of the students. So here is a question, and you can see that when we solve a particular question, this is the human brain, and there are a lot of prototypes or patterns or algorithms used by the mind-brain system. So basically thing is that we receive information from the 5 senses, process that and prepare an information basis system which is used to solve the exam questions as given in this diagram. So here is the brain itself, the functionalities of the brain, the various parts. Here is the anatomy of the brain and brain its coordination to perform different tasks. Then is the concept of human mind as per Sigmund Freud's theories. So mind is comprising of conscious, the preconscious and the unconscious mind as depicted by the iceberg over here. So what we see is the conscious mind, which is very less, even less than 10%, and what we don't see is the hidden dimension. Even when you observe a person, what you see through his action is just 10% of what he is internally. Rest of the 90% is hidden in his depth. So where the unconscious and preconscious mind dominates. So these are the something about details about the minds. And what we do is we develop certain type of mental patterns to understand our environment. We receive data through the 5 senses, but make a mental pattern of those integrated senses, and to understand the world around us. So we develop certain sort of mind maps and use them to move ahead in life. That is the fundamental concept of pattern making. So when you study something, there is the similar game like mind map making or the mind pattern making. So here I have written something about the information processing theories like the Atkinson and Shiffrin stage theories. So it's just like that, the multi-store model. You receive information from the environment through the sensory inputs. It is stored in the sensory memory first thing, then it goes to the short-term memory, then it goes to the long-term memory, and this is the exact operation as done in a computer system. So human mind brain system is just the computer system with much more advanced things in some aspects. Then let's begin with the chapter 2, which is active learning state. So normally a person is having thoughts of diverging issues. He is having unstable and freaky thoughts. So he is not mentally in a state to learn. So the first task is to change the brainwave frequencies of the student. So he is in a state of learning, which is called the state of active learning. And there is involvement of human brain waves, because brain and the mind, they coordinates via the brain waves, and these brain waves are categorized into 5 types: alpha, beta, gamma, delta and theta, out of which delta corresponds to the deep sleep, then theta corresponds to meditation and creativity, alpha corresponds to relaxed reflection, correspond to problem solving, and gamma corresponds to heightened awareness. So whatever we feel like is because of the frequency of the brain waves. Just change the frequencies and you will change how you experience and feel things. Now there is an active learning method that you learn maximum when you actually perform that thing. So learning based approach is the most effective way to learn things. So here are the benefits of active learning, and then is the steps of active learning. Then it's the human mind brain coordination, information encoding in the brain. Then here is the information storing in the brain. Here is the information retrieval. Then we have, let's start with chapter 3, which is information processing model, that how information is processed, as I have done earlier. It's the Atkinson and Shiffrin model to which explains that how human mind brain system processes information. Then there is another model, which is Badley and Hitch model of working memory. It says that there is a visuopathic sketchpad, then central executive, phonological loop, long-term memory, episodic buffer. So it was as per the Badley and Hitch model of working memory. Then we have certain limitations to that. There is analogy between human brain and the computer itself. What are the analogies? Then let's begin with chapter 4, which is challenges. So the challenge is, first thing is confused mind. So human mind is generally confused between different thoughts, emotions, energies. So the first task is to convert that into a silent mind, which is in a state of silence. And silence means zero, and your learning is maximum when you are internally silent. Then we have belief systems. Belief system means you believe something because somebody said it. You don't have proof of what you are being said, but you believe that source. Maybe it may be a holy book, it may be a holy person, it may be a family member, a teacher, recognized personality. But beliefs are not true. They may be false, because belief systems are the reason of so much chaos in the world. One religion believes that there exists life after death. Another does not believe that, and they are fighting for this thing. But reality is that nobody have experience of this question. Nobody knows whether there is life after death or not. What proof do they have? And by proof I means unbiased observation in the Sakshi Bhava, in the neutral mode, where you are not even biased by your own emotional conflicts. So truth is same for everybody. It's the belief system, it's the biased mind brain which forces us, which traps us in emotions and try to create differences, which is called the Maya or the illusion. Because if something is true, it's not dependent on the source. Truth is omnipresent. And if something is true, and it is observed only by few, then that means it's not the absolute truth. But if we think more deeply into that, then we can say that accessing truth, absolute truth, requires bypassing your own belief system, bypassing your own information processing system, bypassing your own emotions, which is a very hard state to achieve. It's not practically possible. However hard you try, you are under the influence of your own belief system, under the influence of your own mind-brain system, and they will not let you to think freely. It's very hard to search for the truth, so it's questionable thing. So let's come back to the mind-brain system itself. Another challenge is the multitasking. So human brain is not made for multitasking. So you need to use a switching mechanism of switching one task after the another. That is how we can process things in parallel. Because when you solve a particular question, there is a use of different parts of the brain, and you have to be in a sort of multitasking. So you need to switch the task, one task after the another. That is solution to this multitasking problem. And you will have to feel negative emotions. When you must have felt that when you start solving a question, you feel a bit of anxiety, depression, low feelings, hallucinations, this and that. So generally, when you just start solving questions, it's during the very first, you can say that 30 to 40 seconds. But slowly you adapt to the main task, and you focus on the task of solving the problem and getting the answer. Then with due time, these things get better. But initially, you feel a bit of negative emotions. Then another challenge is time management. Obviously, all the competitive exams are timely bounded, so you are not free to use time as per your wish. So time foundation is also there, but it can be learnt by giving a lot of mock test and by working in a time mannered situation. The negative marking is there. Questions are manipulation based. Then it's lack of study plans and strategy, exam anxiety, lack of exam management skills. So these were certain challenges in the path. Then let's talk about the solutions. So the solutions is, first thing is learn to focus. So this is the very first important task, important skill that you need to be successful, you need to be ahead of others in this competitive world. Because if you are not focused, your information, emotions, energies will wander roughly. So you will not work under a pattern, and if you will not work under a pattern, you will not be able to get the desired result. So learn to focus, the first thing is. Then you can use meditation programs for that. Then another is stop flighting from the situation. Because if you are afraid of something, then the only solution is to face it. Because until and unless you face it, the fear will go into your unconscious, and it will trouble you till the moment you have the guts to face the fear. So face the situations. That's the only solution of dominating the flight mode of the mind-brain system. This is depicted in the other figure, that learn to dominate the flight mode, and then develop a strong willpower, because when emotions disturbs you, it's the willpower that can dominate them. Then there is another technique of the brainwave frequency modulation. Here is the person, and here it is called the EEG, which maps the brainwaves inside the brain of that particular person. So from judging these, you can analyze what a person is thinking, or how is his mind-brain system coordinating. So brainwave frequency modulation is necessary to perform multiple tasks in competitive exams. So that is how it's needed. And then there are details of the brain waves and how they function. Then it's the schematic diagram of the analysis of brainwave of a particular person. So these are the brainwaves, 5 types of brainwaves as I discussed earlier. Then learn multitasking. It's the neural activity in the human brain when it performs different functions. Then learn multitasking, as I said earlier. Then train your brain. because your brain is not elastic, it's plastic. Being plastic, it can learn new things. So this is you learning starts from the bomb and goes to the tomb. So this is how you should proceed. You should train your brain. I have given different types of exercises for that. Then it's the conservative belief system, how to dominate them out. So the first thing is find source of the belief system. Then try to think beyond information present in your mind brain system. Then try to think beyond information. Then it's solutions to negative emotion is that just observe things silently and let anything to happen. Don't try to control the emotions. Let them to do what they want to do. You just be focused at the present, which you can learn through the meditation. So gradually you will learn how to be non-reactive to the emotional conflicts and focus on your work. And you can certainly do certain type of yogas that will benefit you for focusing at the present. Then another thing is organize your workplace. Workplace should be ready for the positive vibes. And another dimension is develop your positive energy fields, because negative energy cannot be controlled by thinking about it, by doing internal discussions. It can only be done by developing your positive fields. So that's the only solution of negative emotions. Then is the time management. Then is start with time-bounded studies, practice decision making, develop the habit of plan makings. Then it's a 21 days habit. Any habit takes 21 days, you must be doing that. So deal with the negative emotions. Then there are certain steps to that. Then solutions to manipulation based questions, solution to lack of study plans and strategies. So these are the solutions. You can use the strategy for cracking the competitive exams. Here is the concept of exam anxiety and how you can work on them. So use certain mental simulation programs for learning exam anxiety, and it's the training of the mind brain system. Then it's a practice mental simulation programs. It's a change your study schedule before the write begin. Then take some light food before exam, and be in the focused state of mind when you prepare for the exam. Then increase the time for exam, develop a strong memory power, then overcome the phobia of seeing questions. Then don't have a pre-biased mentality toward exam. Don't think that what will be the result. Just focus on your working and try to be most effective in producing the output, and don't think too much about the result. Just focus on the process of solving questions and getting the answers. Then work on your organization skills, have some sharp decision making skills, develop that habit. Then use mind patterns, that is the pattern executed in the universe. So there are certain patterns of the string, patterns of universe. Then there is a central process of information processing and output as done by you. And there are certain characteristics of successful students, and it's a mind brain pattern followed by successful students, and mind brain pattern of successful students as shown in the figure. So here is the list of a frustrated student who is not comfortable with exam preparation. Then we have some theories of mind as given by Sir Sigmund Freud. Here is the Sigmund Freud, sir. So there are 3 levels of the mind as per Freud's analytical theory. It's the conscious mind, then the preconscious and subconscious. Then we have theories of personalities. There are 3 instincts within us: id, ego and superego. It corresponds to the instincts. Ego the reality, and superego the morality, and we are bounded by these 3 personalities, and all these things reside within a single person. Now there is another question, that how to develop mental skills for competitive exams. So it's the mental pattern of competitive exams. So it's the structure of the brain, left versus right brain. So the fundamental concept here is, when you solve a particular question, use this method. First of all, read the question, then think in terms of images, then access your three minds, then design the solution, then find answer and mark the answer. So use this recursive method and it will optimize your question solving skills or the problem solving skills, and will focus you more towards being better, and your output will certainly increase. So we also offer a mind training program with the name of OST. We'll start the training session soon on YouTube. You can search OST by Acharya Vishvendra on YouTube and get access to that. So in that we'll be giving you a 21 days training program and daily a training of 9 minutes just before going to bed. So it's just for synchronizing your brain and the three minds. And if you are able to do this exercise daily for 21 minutes, then on 22nd day you'll be having a better memory, better problem solving skill, better coordination of the mind brain, and especially the coordination of brain with three levels of the mind. So that is the secret behind preparing for JEE NEET. You can contact us. My official email ID is acharyavishwendra@gmail.com, or you can ask in the comment section in the YouTube. So this is what I did, and this is the last page what I have done. So you can search my name on Google, Acharya Vishvendra. It shows what I worked. I qualified JEE main exam. It was called AIEEE at the time in 2007, and I got to Government Engineering College, Uttarakhand, Pantnagar, Uttarakhand, which is second best government engineering college after IIT Roorkee in Uttarakhand, in my home state. So this is what I have done. I have compiled 215 books. All of these are available on Amazon, Flipkart and Notion Press. You can search them on. Apart from that, I have thousands of videos, I think more than 7,900 videos on YouTube on my official channel, Acharya Vishwendra. It includes video lectures, video books, audio books, question papers, PYQ solutions, optimal physics worksheets, optimal chemistry worksheets, master question series. A lot of educational content is there free of cost to make students learn better and without being bounded by the scarcity of time, money, and they can use my work to live a quality life. So this is my purpose behind developing these books, developing the educational content, so as to make education it's effectively cost effective, so that anybody who has the tendency, who has the guts to improve his quality of working, can certainly improve his life by studying properly and by cracking competitive exams and achieving omnipresent dimensions of success in academic, professional and spiritual dimension of life. Thank you and have a nice day.